Mine stay classy.
You're all stay classy, yeah.
Which is funny. I want everyone to know that I started that not knowing that it was from Anchorman. Because when I started saying that, I didn't know it was fucking Anchorman.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Almost Sideways, a place for movie conversation. My name is Adam, and these are my daily notes where I have fun conversation with guests. And today I have an awesome guest him and I go way back. When I first started YouTube, I met this guy, and I'm really excited to get more into his film journey because his journey has gone a long way since when I first started. He's not only a YouTuber approaching 20,000 subscribers, but he's a guy who he's been to film festivals, he's been on the news talking about movies, and he's also one of the hosts of the Geeks of the Roundtable with also our good buddy Ren. So our guest is Mr. Zach Pope. Zach, how you doing, my friend?
Hey man, it's good. It's great to be here. Great to see you. You were the first person who ever invited me to do a collab, so it's nice to come full circle and come back around for that. What was it? Was it
top 5 remakes?
Yes, yeah. Because I remember we did a Blade Runner one, and then I feel like there was a couple more. But yeah, definitely
Star Wars video games. I remember that one too. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, no man, it's exciting to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. Before we get too far into it, can you tell the people at home where they can find you on YouTube, social media, and all that fun jazz?
So Zach Pope, just type that in. I should be one of the first things to pop up. I talk movies on YouTube, Twitter, and then I just love all sorts of things that are geeky. So if you're a geek like me, then I'm this main spot to go to for all that. I'm not crazy bastard who stays up at midnight every Thursday and Tuesday for Loki and Bad Batch and all those. So come join the conversation if you're into those.
Okay, if you see anything that catches your eye in that background, chances are he's talking about it. So
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So first, I guess we should go back to your when you first started, because we kind of hinted at it. I remember meeting you, and I know when I first started, I was like pumping out a ton of stuff, and I remember comments saying I was the king of collabs. But that's the best way to reach out stuff. And I reached out to you one time to do this top 5 remakes thing. And I remember at that point, not many, you had a following, but not many people in the movie space knew who you were. And really there that day, I guess the first question I want to ask you is, what made you start talking movies on YouTube? And then we'll go into the second part.
So it's funny, like back in the day, I talk movies like literally on a daily basis with all my friends and stuff. But I was that kid that like my friends would be like, dude, you talk way too much about movies. And I had no friends that were like super into film as much as I was. Like, don't get me wrong. Like when I wanted to make some like stupid short films, they would all be down. They would all help me. They would do what I need to do. I'd write characters around them. I would do that. I have one friend who absolutely hated being in front of the camera. So he was clearly the cameraman, really good at it. He would put his input like that was fun. And I was doing that before doing like reviewing film, and then we all got busy because we just graduated high school, so like we all started getting busy, and like after that year I was like, I want to do something else. So I started making stuff like this where I could do it on my own, I could do it, and I went with the mentality of I just want to see films early. Well, that's not the mentality you should go for, because when I started, I absolutely sucked. I wasn't trying. I was just pushing out shitty content, and it was terrible. So then I stopped. I stopped for about probably like 5 months or maybe even longer than that. And I won tickets to see Batman versus Superman early. Ooh, and I went to see that, and I came home, and I had so much to say. And I typed up this long thing on Facebook. Long thing. And one of my friends saw it and reached out, and he goes, "Why did you stop doing your videos?" He goes, "That would have been like the perfect thing for you to talk about on a video." So I started thinking about that. And then I started like finding out ways to win tickets again. So I got Nice Guys.
Oh, nice.
Alien Covenant. Saw these early, again, still doing that on Facebook. I had a friend tell me the same thing again. He goes, "You need to do this." So one of my best friends at the time, well, still best friend, he had a job at AMC. So he was seeing movies for free, and he goes, "Yo, just come with me." because I still wasn't getting that much money and stuff. So because I would still go to the movies every week, but it would be with my grandma. So she would take me once, twice a week. But again, she's not going to want to see everything. Like I think the last time I convinced her to see something she didn't want to see was Tropic Thunder. And that's because like no one in my family wanted to take me to see it. And that's like the last movie you take your grandma to, but it was the best experience for me. So he took me to see Finding Dory and Central Intelligence. We did a back-to-back thing of those. And I went home and reviewed those. And then I made it a goal where every week I would review one thing. That's it. Just for fun. Like I was like, I'm just going to do this for fun. I can't remember. I had one friend then tell me, she's like, you could do more than this. Like you are really good at this. You just need to push. So then she got me into more advanced screenings. And then I found out who to reach out to. So then I was reaching out to people. So I really pushed for a little bit. And then I think I started collabing and all sorts of things like that. And then I got onto the website Sandwich on Films. Yep. Which definitely helped a lot bolster that into getting me into screeners and stuff. Which, I mean, I wasn't getting like Black Panther yet. I was getting like these smaller independent films. But then I think I knew I made it to the list, that special list, once Black Panther hit my mailbox. I was like, oh, okay, that's freaking different. And I got hyped from that. And then from there on, it was just like this big slide. And I think that's the thing that I love about early screeners. I feel like I was one of the first people in our space to kind of figure out how to get into them. And you know, YouTube was still kind of a weird thing when I started. Yep. Because a lot of these people, when I would go, it was literally just for Sandwich on Films. Like that's what it would be for. They didn't care about my YouTube channel, really. They didn't care about any of that stuff. Even though I said I had it, I didn't have that big of a, like, I probably had like 900 subs. But definitely doing that gained me more subs faster. But still, it was a trickling thing. I mean, once I started doing trailer reactions, rankings, and once I started adding the other things, that's when it starts gaining momentum. Sometimes reviews would help, but that's really for the bigger films like Endgame and Black Panther. But I remembered all that, and it's weird now. They look at YouTube as a different thing. Some of them do. I feel like some. I don't know. It's a weird light, especially when you email someone you've never met, and you're like, oh yeah, I review films on YouTube. Okay, now they're not going to reply back to me because they don't. I feel like people still don't get it. I think Chris Stuckman talked about it in one of his videos a while ago, where he talked about where he goes, I had like 200,000 subs and they still were not letting me in. He goes, I had to literally show them like I'm getting more views than these other people. And that's it. It's weird. People don't know how to read the analytics yet, you know? So
that is I remember the Chris Stuckman video on that. That is very true. I think that some of that stigma hopefully is going down. I know that I not pursuing big screeners like that, but I reach out to Netflix every once in a while and I get a screener. So I got Awake the last
I didn't watch it, but yeah,
I got that like a week early. So I posted that. I was like, but I'm not going for big screeners. Just I don't have the time. But I'm just doing this as a fun little thing right now. So getting back into it type of stuff. But anyway, I definitely remember you collabed. You had your couple. We worked together, and then I think remember Ryan O'Toole invited you on.
Well, and then he started doing the Rotten or Fresh, which I should have grabbed I still have the statue. It's somewhere over there on one of my shelves, but
there we go. I remember that, and then people were like, "Oh, this new guy, this underdog." I was like, "No, watch out for that guy."
Well, and that's what I was like.
Watch out
everyone's like calling me the underdog. I'm like, motherfuckers, like I know you guys don't know me. Like I do this for fun.
That's why you're saying it.
Yeah, so
one guy's like, no, I've worked with this guy, and no, he's gonna do just fine. Just watch, and then you freaking won the whole thing, and then
Ren won the next one.
Then Ren won the next one, absolutely, and then like you guys are freaking blowing up, and you guys are awesome, and then you're some of my good friends here still in the YouTube space. And the funny thing is, we're talking about Ron or Fresh real quick. You said the villain was dead, I believe, the last time you were on that show. No, we formed our little group Evolution, and that whole fun.
And then
story.
I left. The last time I left and made a new group, and then Ryan stopped it, which I get it. Like it was stressful. Why, there was a lot of things of like is someone cheating, is someone not, which it's a hard show to sit. Like I watch the Schmodown sometimes and I'm like, that's a little bit harder to cheat on, in my opinion, to type in real, you know what I mean? Where like Rotten Refresh, I mean, it's not hard. If you really think about it, like if you want to cheat, you could cheat, but like it's all for fun and games. Like if you want to, like it was a fun show because like you had to study, but like everyone had their own way of studying. Like for me, like, I don't know, do you use like Vudu or Movies Anywhere?
Oh, no, I don't use those ones.
See, I have tons of movies on there. I would just go down them, and when you look at them, it just shows the Rotten Tomato score. So that's what I would do. I would just go down, literally list of those, and just look at the Rotten Tomato scores, and then just hop on. And I always knew how Ryan worked. I know what fucking films he was gonna pick, especially when he let us know. Like the Christmas one, I was like, he's gonna do Arthur Christmas because it's such a stupid. Like, why the hell is that film at 90%? Couldn't tell you, but. It's stuff like that. Like you kind of think, okay, how is Ryan and Cody? What are they going to pick? They're going to pick the weird films that we've heard of, but we're like, that's the score. So
yeah,
it was fun, man. It was fun. I love doing it. If they brought it back, I would go back and do it.
Yeah,
I'd be more mellowed out though, but I would definitely go.
So I remember you screaming at the top of your lungs during that barnyard brawl. That was
dude. I wearing my Deadpool mask and having my whole background like with all my supporters and shit. My Pattinson, Batman, like
Baby Groot. I think you had one.
Yeah. I still have Groot. He's like right here. But yeah, dude. I was young.
Yeah.
I feel young. Like I go back and look at those videos and I'm like, fuck, man. I mean, that was like more than.
That was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. And I'm still energetic, but I've definitely mellowed out on the cursing and definitely just in general, like the screaming and stuff. But it was fun. Like I go back and watch other videos of mine. I'm like, and I'm trying to get back into that mentality again, that fun aspect, because sometimes I take films so seriously and I'm like, I have to say something that's a con, but now I'm like, I don't have to say if something's wrong with the film. If it's just a film that's fine and good, like, and there's nothing important to say, you just talk about it and then you review it. You don't have to talk shit about every film.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like that's my thing. And a lot of people will be like, well, you're so nice when you review stuff. I'm like, well, not every, like if a film's not garbage, and I enjoy it, like I'm probably going to give it a good rating as long as it didn't piss me off. Like, Spirit Untamed was annoying because like that should have been better. Okay, and then there's like Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife, the second one.
Yeah,
it's a terrible movie. It's a terribly made movie, but it's so fun. It's so fun. So in that aspect, if it's fun, you can like it. You know what I mean? Like
be entertained by aspects of the movie.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. It's not Shakespeare.
Yeah, absolutely. That is too. When you are sitting down and watching, what's the biggest difference between? I know you kind of hinted at it, but when you first started and now, like, are you still writing out scripts, or are you just kind of free flowing it, or
it's funny? So before, I never read on a script because I would come home, write home, and do it.
Yeah.
Now it's a little bit different. Sometimes these films I see, if it's a screener I watch at home where I know I don't have to review it for like I saw The Tomorrow War like two weeks ago. Yeah. Like I saw it 2 weeks ago. I knew I wasn't going to review that until probably the week before it comes out because that's when the embargo goes up. Mm-hmm. And I was like, so at home, I take a lot of notes now. Especially during the pandemic, I was taking so many notes because there's certain things I don't take notes for. I tried taking notes during WandaVision and I noticed it just wasn't flowing right. So then I stopped completely. And I'm just like, right after it's over, I'm going to hop on and just do it. Now I've done that with Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki. If I forget something, I forget something. You know what I mean? I'm talking about what I enjoyed the most in the episode, not what I'm not recapping the damn thing. If I was recapping it, then it would be a little bit different, but I'm just reviewing my favorite moments from it. But in this sense, when I go to the theater, I've tried bringing a notebook. I can't see in the dark. And then I get out and I'm like, I can't fucking read this.
Your chicken scratch?
Yeah. And my handwriting's already garbage. So chicken scratch is even worse. So that doesn't work for me. I've tried it. multiple times, but now I come home right after the screener if it's in person, and I just sit down, review it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll edit it if I need to, if not. And if I forget something, I forget something. And I do bring my notebook in my car. So sometimes like I'll go out there and I'll be like, okay, I need to hit this, and that. Those are the 3 things I need to hit the most.
Yeah.
But typically the film's pretty fresh in my head. But again, when I'm at home, I usually write down notes if I know I'm not going to review it right after, so I can remember like the tomorrow. And I usually take like 2 pages of notes, like tomorrow where I have like 2 pages of notes on stuff. I have a lot to say about the film, because there's so many different elements to it, because it is a time travel film. So like that adds this whole factor to it that you're supposed to talk about. So it's interesting, man. And I like it. I've always known, like, just jumping in the way when I talk to the camera, it's like I'm talking to my best friend. It might be all over the place, but I don't care.
They know what you're talking about, at least.
Yes, exactly.
We're really best friends. Yeah. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Like I remember you always would write my 2 categories: pros, cons, what kind of things I like.
Exactly. That's how I do it.
At least you know how I take little notes when I start out, and then sometimes just kind of like this conversation is a very like a friendly conversation. That's how I'm just talking to somebody on the other end of the camera, and hopefully if I, like I said, forget something too, but I forgot something. That's what the comment section is always for. I said, I forgot.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's like people who be like, you forgot to talk about this. I'm like, I didn't even notice that. Like, especially these spoiler reviews I do each week. I'm like, I didn't even notice that. It was so small.
Yeah.
Like, guys, like, it's like technically I'm doing a reaction because I'm like reacting right after the damn thing. So it's like chill out. No, like
I can't get everything.
No, exactly.
If you want everything, go to Emergency Awesome or something.
Yeah, or spoiler breakdowns or
ZZ.
3C.
Yes, 3C films. Yeah, there we go. Daly Underground. Yeah,
exactly. All those
guys. Yeah. But anyway, where was I going to go? I had a question. Oh yeah, the pandemic. You mentioned the pandemic, especially because that had to be a wrench in your thing. I know that you've been wanting to do a lot of stuff at home, and you had film festivals at home, I believe, too. And
yeah,
what was that right when they said we're shutting stuff down? I know you're in Arizona, so it might not be as crazy up here. Like we just like this weekend is just now like stuff's loosening up.
See, Arizona's dumb. We didn't care, but a lot of the companies took it seriously. So every movie theater shut down. Yeah. And then the state got serious. Like seriously, like every company shut down. Then the state finally was like, we're closing. Like we're gonna close, and we reopened within like 3 weeks. Not fully, but we reopened in 3 weeks. But a lot of businesses stayed closed. Like I didn't work for 2 months. It was the best 2 months of my life. Like I literally sat at home. I literally watched movies. I hung out with my girlfriend, my family, and that's all I did. Like it was the best thing of my life, and it sucked because of movie wise, like that. I mean, that's the part that sucked the most, because I remember that week that we shut down. The day they announced we were all shutting down. The day after that, I was supposed to see A Quiet Place 2. And then the day after that, I was supposed to go see Mulan. So I had screenings lined up for like the next month and a half. I was supposed to go to South by Southwest. That all shut down, which sucked because like the Green Knight. I like when you go to, so every festival is different, and South by Southwest is a really big pain because like Sundance, if you're press, you go in the press line and you're the first one to go fucking in. South by, they ain't no separate line. Your ticket's just free. You sit in that line and you wait. You'll wait all day. I waited like 9 hours for us to go see Us early. You can email reps like, hey, this is what I'm doing, blah, blah. And, I would always do that and never get a reply back. Well, the Green Knight A24 replied back to me. And I was absolutely shocked. And they messaged me and they're like, we love your reviews. She literally told me, she goes, I love your reviews. She goes, I will get you a ticket. And then I'm like, oh my God. So then, of course, the world shuts down and I had to email her back. I'm like, hey, thank you so much. Like, I guess the world's, and she goes, well, if we end up going back to South by, just feel free to email me. I was like, awesome. Great.
Oh yeah.
So that was great, and anytime I've needed something from A24, awesome. I met that contact, and I always are able to get something. Like I got Saint Maud, which was great. Like I got Saint Maud pretty early. She goes, I'm surprised you didn't ask for it earlier. I'm like, I didn't know I could have, but okay. I've been wanting to see the film forever. But it was cool, and that's what sucked though, is like because then I sat there and I'm like, well, now I have to make content when there's no content coming out. And it sucked. And a lot of it, again, was, I think when I noticed movies were trying to go to home video first, that's where I was like, okay, so like I had some reps who I could still contact, but I remember Scoob was the one that I was like, hey, you guys got screeners? Nope. Oh, okay. So then my friend was like, why don't you reach out to Warner Brothers? So then I did, and they sent me one like same day. Oh, wow. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And you know, I really had to restart with Disney and everyone. So it sucked because like I didn't get on the Disney press list till the fucking end of the year, which then everything opened up again. So then it was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I've been waiting all damn year to get back on Disney's, which I got in time for like Mulan again and like the one and only Ivan stuff towards the end of the year. But it was a pain. Like that was the most pain in the ass to get on. Like I cannot express enough how big of a pain in the ass that list was to get on because no one replies back. I sent like thousands of emails, no reply back.
Yeah. I've tried to do the Disney one. They've responded back to one saying, "Oh, we're not doing that," and they we're not doing
and to be honest, I think they've changed a lot because everything's kind of going back now. So now it's all more local. And like the person I reach out to, like since I'm in Arizona, if there's something going on in California, I'll drive out there. Like I don't care. Like so it's interesting how that works. But yeah, dude, like I really much restarted, and then everything went back, kind of starting going back to normal already. And now I'm like, okay, so like it's kind of like wherever I stopped at in 2019 or like the beginning of 2020 when I went to Sundance Film Festival, it's now kind of like picking back up. Like it's like that whole little void was like purgatory, and now it's like, okay, that didn't matter, now we're back to here. And I'm like, okay, cool, like that this is where we're going now.
Nice.
So yeah, so we'll see like kind of where that goes, because I felt like I was on like the Mile High Club, like going up, and I was like, we're heading these points. 2019 was a great year. 2020 started out to be a great year at Sundance, you know, and then I got to do Sundance this year at home, which was fun. I liked it, but I definitely could tell that like they had more independent stuff this year than they do the bigger films because of the nature of how it was. They said next year is also going to be at home too and in person. So I'm waiting to see if like, because I will go in person if they're like, okay, like for instance, I don't know, like The Northman, Robert Eggers' new film is premiering there, but you can only see it in person. You damn right I'm buying a fucking plane ticket and going to see it. Like, I went to South by Southwest just for us. I will go there just for one other film. Like, I don't care. Like, so
it's the experience of being there too, I think.
Well, that's the thing. And meeting people. Like, dude, everyone there is for film. Like, everyone there is there because they love movies. Like, that's what I love about it. And I really adore it because, like, I would sit in line, like not too long of a line, but I was like, sometimes I did have to go get a ticket because like I couldn't get a press pass for it. So I was like, oh, I'll just buy a ticket or I'll go wait in the standby line. And I remember The Father with Anthony Hopkins, that thing kept selling out. And this girl was behind me and she goes, what films are you seeing today? I was like, well, I want to see The Father, but I don't. She goes, oh, I have a ticket for it. Do you want it? I'm not going to go to it. I was like, oh, I'll pay. And she goes, no, here you go. Here you go. And I talked to her. She's a fucking documentary director. I can't remember. Her film wasn't out yet, but she was creating a documentary and she just gave me that ticket. And the rest of the festival, I would see her like here and there and we would talk and, you know, and that's the thing. People love film so much. So then I met her other people. I met some of the other guys she works with and I was just like, this is freaking cool. So like I told them, I was like, here's my contact information. When your documentary comes out, let me know and I will review it. I'm like, this is a personal favor that you gave me, The Father. So like, and then she got me in The 9 Days as well, which I don't know if you've seen. Incredible movie.
Yeah, I like that movie too.
It's so good. So, but yeah.
I actually got to sell that a little early because I've joined Film Independent.
Oh yeah.
I got this year was cool because I got a vote on the Spirit Indie Award. The Spirit.
That's cool.
So I send you all the majority of the screeners. So 9 Days was like the first one I watched out of that one.
And it's incredible, dude. I mean, if it would have came out last year, I included it in my top 10. But if it would have came out last year, it would have been my number 1. But the fact that it didn't, I did Soul instead. But yeah, 9 Days is great.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the movie The Killing of Two Lovers.
I have not. That's the one that I've heard so much about. I've had multiple opportunities and I just haven't done it. So I'm probably gonna do it once it comes on once I can at home.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw
Is
it.
it VOD now?
Yeah, I think I saw it on Amazon. Yeah. You can. Yeah, I saw it on Amazon Prime.
It's good.
Oh yeah, that's like 9 days in that film. We're kind of competing for my favorites this year. It was that one was up for the John Cassavetes Award there.
Yeah,
so
I saw you watch In the Heights. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, well I like that quite a bit. My wife is Mexican, so a lot of that.
Did she love it?
Yeah, it was. She's not like a huge musical person, but this one, like, because there was a lot of similarities to her culture, stuff like that. We connected so much to it. And a lot of stuff, I'm like, oh, it was a great movie. It's up there for me in my top 10 right now.
Yeah,
too.
dude, I think it's my number one. I've watched it like 5 times. I saw it 3 times in theaters, and I will go back again. It's so good. The music is great. Yeah. And like my girlfriend, I took her to one of the times, and she loved it. And she's Latina too, and she goes, I feel represented. Like, she flat out told me that. And now it makes me excited. Like, when do we get that first Latino superhero? The main big one. We're getting Shang-Chi this year for Asian Americans, and like that. Yeah, that's cool for me. And then like Black Panther, Miss Marvel. Yeah. So like, and that's my thing. Like, I'm so sad. I don't know if you saw, like, DC's doing Blue Beetle, but it's only on HBO Max. And I'm like, that could literally be your Peter Parker. Like, why wouldn't you put that in theaters? Like, it just baffles me. But yeah, dude, no, In the Heights was great. It's probably my favorite film besides A Quiet Place.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Quiet Place was a really fun movie too. We saw that at the drive-in. I think that enhanced the experience there for us. Yeah. It was just like, it was dark. Mm-hmm. We saw fireflies, and it was fun.
That's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. So I know stuff's opening back up for you. Is there anything that you have in line that coming out, like that you're trying to get tickets for, or screeners for, or anything like that, or if you're able to say?
I mean, all the Marvel stuff, like all those big things, because those are the things that's gonna really help my channel. Plus, I'm excited for them. I've been waiting for these damn things. But other than that, man, like, I'm just excited. Like, that screeners are back in theaters. Like, I didn't mind watch them at home, but it's a different thing. Like, the day I get the Dune screener invite, I don't care what I'm doing that day. I will quit my job if I have to watch that. I don't give a fuck. Like, that is my, like, that and Eternals are like my number one films for the year. Like, and I guess Spider-Man too, but I need to see the trailer for that. But because I've heard a lot about that damn movie.
Yeah.
I had my friend pretty much tell me the, like, plot of it. Yeah. Like, not every single thing, but like pretty much the first act. And I'm like, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I believe in Kevin Feige though. So like, I'm not gonna, like, I can't imagine it's gonna be a bad film. I think it'll be really good. But the Eternals and Dune just look so different and unique. And I know someone who saw Dune last year. He went to a test screening and said it was like 10 out of 10. Best thing he's ever. Yeah. He said it was phenomenal.
Nice. That's kind of like Rin sitting on the Quiet Place 2 review. For
yeah. So, and he said the film was like 99% done. He goes, I think they had like a couple more things to touch up on, like CGI, but he goes, it was awesome. They saw it in IMAX. I'm like, oh God, I'm so jealous. But yeah, dude, like, for me though, the biggest thing is like the Arizona Midday segment I did out here. They invited me to come back again. So they said that they're going to have me do monthly ones, which is cool. Like, I didn't expect that. Like, we've talked about it for a bit of doing that because I've been on there before. Yeah. But now it's like, okay, we actually are going to do this month to month. And that's cool for me because, like, it gives me a place. And like, I've done once for like the Scottsdale Film Festival where I talked about it. And like, I always feel comfortable in those, but those ones I have to do a lot of research for because like they're more independent films that I have no idea about. And I have to rewatch a lot of them because we have to watch them throughout the year for our Critic Society. But when it comes down to that, I'm supposed to also dive into those. So Marvel, I mean, that was easy. I just watched Loki and then hopped on and did my thing and I was able to talk about it. So, man, it was exciting. I love being able to do that and hopefully more opportunities.
Yeah. How did you, if you guys didn't exactly know what he was talking about, right, that he gets his local news station, right? Like you get on there. How did that conversation? Did they approach you? Did you try to reach out to them to see what's up or?
So I can't say the person's name, but someone, the first time someone helped me get on, the station came to them, where was like, do you have anyone in mind? And they pointed them my way. So then they messaged me for the few times. And then like I also do the list, which is like another channel as well, which
I've seen
like,
that
rank stuff. So like again, same thing. They asked, they told me. So then they have me, and I do one like every other month or every couple of weeks. So then, of course, the Scottsdale Film Festival, they liked what I did the first time. So then I did 2 more for them to promote the festival, because it makes it easier on the person who's running it all. Because she can focus on that, and I can focus on doing like the promoting side. And then this time, though, no one. They just messaged me. They emailed me, and they're like, hey, we have this idea. Would you love to come on and do it? Cool. Sure. So then I hopped on, and then I was talking to the producer, and they're like, we would love to have you monthly, like talking about movies. I'm like, she goes, is that something you'd love to do? I was like, absolutely. I was like, you tell me, I'll be there. I don't care. Like, I get to talk movies, you know? So, and it gets my name out there. Like, I mean, that's how the way I view it. Like, so it's exciting. It's another outlet to talk film. Like that's all that matters to me, honestly. Like I told them, I was like, I just love talking movies. Like, if you want to talk movies, like that's the place. I'm the one to get.
Yeah, I'm the one to get. Yeah. What's that first experience behind the bright lights? Was that a little nerve-wracking, or butterflies?
Oh, God, dude. The first time it was in person. Oh, God, dude. I had to go into the studio. I was like sweating so much. I was like, this is so fucking intense. And thankfully, the films I was talking about was like Ford v Ferrari, Waves, Honey Boy, like these ones that I've kind of already known about a lot. So like being in person, but like Desiree, who's like the host of it all, she's very, very good at like keeping that conversation flowing and making it not awkward or anything. So I felt really natural and felt good about it. Like I think I stuttered once, which was not bad. And I didn't talk too fast either. But it was nice. And then like the next 3 times are all at home right now. So like, it hasn't been too bad because I'm in my comfort zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, when we go back to the studio, if we ever do, if they have me for that long, then that question opens up again. Will I be, on the edge of my seat? And I'll probably be like, okay, like, because like the first time my mom came with me, and then the person who helped me get on went, and that helped. But I'm like, if I had to go alone, I'm like,
yeah, a little nerve-wracking there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's pretty cool. I know that you have another outlet too. We'll talk about that too. We mentioned it earlier in the podcast. Ren, you guys have a podcast, Geeks, the Roundtable. You've been doing that I think you just celebrated your first year, right?
Yeah. So we just hit our first year a couple of weeks back. Doesn't feel like a year's passed at all, because it's just fun for me and him to hop on and talk every week.
Yeah. How does, I know that you guys, he's way like 8 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
So we're filming like in our pajamas. He's like already had like his lunch, and he's
dude, he's like about to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like I think it's 4:00 his time when we do it, 3 or 4. And it's 7:00 my time when we do it. So it's interesting how that works and how it runs. And, I love Red. So like, that's why when we, he came to me, he goes, I want to do a podcast. I was like, dude, I'd love to be it. Just let me know. And, that's something that we brought together to life. And it's fun, again, doing it every week, talking movie news, because like, that's what we enjoy. And, we wanted to create a podcast that people could join in a live chat and have conversations, which like, we could get 12 people in there during a live stream, but as long as they're conversating, which they always do, that makes me happy. Like, even though they're not talking to us, they're talking with each other. Like, that's cool to me. Yeah. Like that, it brings it. Yeah. Because like, I don't know who these people are. They might not have any friends, who talk movies as much as, me and Ren do. And that kind of gives them that place to do,
Yeah, absolutely. What has been some of your favorite memories on the Geeks of the Roundtable?
Anytime me and Ren like disagree, I think it's always fun. Or probably one of my favorite ones is we had Mothman Jones on, and we're doing top 10 Star Wars characters. And this motherfucker, and I love him. Dude says Muff Tack. Do you know who the fuck Muff Tack is?
Muff Tack.
He's the big white Yeti guy in the 4 seconds in New Hope in the background. He gave him like top number 5. And
wait, what was his list?
I don't remember. Top 5 Star Wars characters ever. And I'm like, who the fuck is Muftak? So then he goes, honestly, I wanted to put him at number 1. I'm like, oh my God. So then it was fun. It was fun and laughs and like stuff like that is like what makes me is like when we say stuff like that. And I think like we've talked about like our 69 episodes coming up. We're like, we should do sex scenes, like best sex scenes. Or like most important sex scenes or something like that. And I'm like, we should. So, you know, we just have fun talking about stuff. And like, he has like that whole geeky comic book side to him.
Oh yeah.
And I'm trying to get more into the comic book thing. So he always tells me which ones to buy. Then I'll buy them and read them. And I'm like, okay, this is like really cool. That way I'm more like versed when a movie comes out and stuff. Cause that was my goal for this year as a reviewer is to like be better at what I'm doing. So like Dune, I read the book, but what I did was I bought the graphic novel of it, read the graphic novel, then read the book because it was way easier to read the book. I don't know if you've ever attempted to read that book. That book is a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to read. So if you want to do it, do that because it makes way more sense.
Awesome. Okay, good to know. Your sex scenes ranking. I have important sex. Scream. Nev Campbell's character that has to be up on your list.
I've never seen Scream. Never seen Scream in my life.
Well, nice meeting you. And
I'm going to watch it this year, though. I'm going to watch all 4 because, okay, I've seen 4.
One's coming out.
I've seen, and the 5th one's coming out, but I've seen 4 and parts of 1. Mm-hmm. And though I only say that is because I didn't know they were like satires, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were straight horror. So when I was younger, I wasn't that into horror. Like I loved Evil Dead because Evil Dead was funny to me. It wasn't scary. Nightmare on Elm Street was appealing to me because like Freddy was kind of funny to me. You know, so like I like that more humorous horror stuff. But now as I've grown older and I recognize, oh, Scream isn't that scary. It's more of a satire. Now I want to watch them. And it's just more of a, again, like I tell you, like I play video games on my off time. I don't watch I have all these movies to watch, but I watch them usually like if my girlfriend's over or if I'm with a friend or my family wants to watch something, I'll watch a movie by myself. No, for sure. But I have like a stack of movies right here, like to my side that like, this is what I need to watch because shit's coming up. And like it either goes towards one of those, like I have all the Fast and Furious movies right here. I need to watch like almost like 6 more of them before the new one comes out. And I've just been putting it off. And then like,
just because you've never seen them before, or because
ranking, I'm gonna do it.
Oh ranking. Yeah. I'm like, yeah.
It's been no. You're okay. It's just been forever. And then some of them, I mean, I've only seen once. So like,
yeah.
But then like, I have a list of movies here that I've never seen. So like, I'm gonna do a bunch of first time watches. So like, Black Swan, never seen in my life. So I'm gonna do a first time watch of that. Yeah. James Bond. I have all the James Bond films there. Never watched any of them besides the Daniel Craig ones and a couple of the Pierce Brosnan and Sean Connery ones.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other guy's name that I've seen.
Roger Moore.
No. That one. Yes. So I'm excited to do that. There's just films that like and then my girlfriend's never seen Indiana Jones. So like I'm going to make her do a first time watch of those.
Nice. Good.
I'm trying. She like, I guess, I don't know what's up. I guess as a child, like her family was just not into them. So like it's burdened into her that they're boring films, I feel. And I'm like, I don't know which one they watched, but it definitely wasn't Raiders. It was probably Temple of Doom, which is like the most like hit or miss one for people. I like Raiders, I like Temple of Doom, but you know. My wife, that's the same thing with her. Like, so Star Wars, she'll watch them, but she's not like them. Yeah, I got her into Star Wars though. I don't remember how. Before we started dating, I was like, "You should watch Star Wars." And so Solo was on Netflix, and I was like, "You should watch Solo. Just try it." She loved it. I was like, "If you love Solo, that's like bottom tier. You'll love the others." So then I had her watch Force Awakens, Last Jedi. This is before Rise came out. Then she went back and watched the prequels. Then went to the original, and then by the time she'd finished it, Rise had come out, and she was a giant fan of it, like loved it.
Which one is her favorite?
She won't answer the damn question when I ask her. She's like, if you ask her, it changes every day. Some days it's Force Awakens. She really likes Rise though. She really likes Rise, which like that's fine. I like Rise, but she like really likes it.
My wife likes Attack of the Clones.
Oh, she loves Phantom Menace. Jar Jar Binks, she literally will tell me it's her favorite character.
But I know to say that's my favorite character. She's like, your favorite character is Jar Jar. I'm like, shut up! It's Dash Rendar. Yeah. We know this. He's not even in the
movie. Exactly. No, but I'm gonna guess her top 3. It's probably Force Awakens, like out of order: Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, Phantom Menace. Or maybe Revenge. I'm not in particular, but I know she likes Solo a lot too, and I think that's because that was her first one. But she's really into The Mandalorian. Like that's her thing.
My wife and I, she would watch that show and she loves it too. So
yeah. So good. I'm sad the next season's not coming out till like late next year. So Boba Fett's supposed to be like the in-between line for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want Cad Bane to show up. If Cad Bane shows up in Boba Fett, I'll be happy.
Cad Bane would be a good. I think Cad Bane would be a good part in that. Or I've been championing this for years. Dash Rendar would be a perfect addition.
It would make sense, man. I don't know. Fuck, where? I thought he was honestly going to show up in Mando. I feel like if you're going to bring him in, Mando makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's a good point too. I
actually thought Timothy Dalton was, or not? Yeah, Timothy Olyphant. I thought he was going to play him, to be honest. And then it came out that he was playing the book character, but.
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see, but we'll go. We can still wait. I know people love that character, and it's sad that his book's not canon anymore. But anyway, I know that I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, you're good, dude. This is fun.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then we'll continue a little bit more. So we talked about video games in your downtime. What kind of stuff you've been playing? What kind of stuff you've been liking?
Oh man, I just stayed up till 2 a.m. last night playing Mass Effect Trilogy. I just beat it. The Mass Effect franchise is like Last of Us is my favorite game of all time, but like when it comes down to a franchise, it goes between Gears of War and Mass Effect. But this playthrough of Mass Effect definitively made it my favorite gaming franchise of all time, and probably my favorite trilogy I've ever experienced in a game.
Is it worth? Is that worth the? Is the upgrade worth it?
Did you play the original ones?
Yeah, I played the original ones.
I would say so. They don't change. They change the graphics a lot. Like the graphical power is great. It's still a little like the first one's still a little clunky, but like to experience, because like when I played them, I didn't like the first one, so I never beat it. I was like, fuck the first one. This one's terrible. Then I got the second one. And I loved it. The second one for the longest time was one of my favorite games of all time, like top 3. And then I loved 3 as well, but the ending always left me a little bit dissatisfied. Like, and that's because I never did the extended cut that they did. So now, plus, in this version, I don't know if you ever did all the add-ons. All the DLC is in here, and they seamlessly put it in. So I found a site that tells you what missions to do in what order, because this is like the canon way of doing it. So the first game really doesn't matter. The second game, there's a way of doing it so you get the best outcome. And the third game, it tells you like the best way to do it. So I went through, and I always romanced Daly, if you remember her. I always thought she was a really interesting character. So this time around, though, the first game, I fell in love with Liara. I was like, this character is so fascinating. So I went with Liara this time, which I feel is the canon one. Like this is, because they did Andromeda, that was not great, and they're already announcing they're doing another one. In that teaser trailer, though, it's Liara. Liara picks up Shepard's thing that says N7, and then she smiles and turns away, and then it says Mass Effect. It will continue. The Mass Effect universe will continue, assuming that Liara will be a major part of the next one, and Shepard's somewhere out there in the world, which I'm going to talk about in a second. But I going through and romancing Liara throughout it, and becoming best friends with Garrus, and becoming friends with everyone. You care about those characters so fucking much that when you play the second one, you're like, everyone needs to survive. Everyone needs to survive. Legion, Tali, Thane, and get so emotionally enwrapped in them. And the third game, since I usually romance Tali, this time around it was a lot different because I did Liara, and I loved it even more. I love what they did with Tali and everything, but it very much feels like they do more with Liara, if that makes sense. Like they very much push her to the forefront. And their relationship is very much the climax of 3. And just the DLC, there's 2 DLCs in particular. There's one that's called the Leviathan.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you do it?
No, I know what you're talking about.
So I'd never done it. I have no idea how that was an add-on. It literally dives into the Reapers who created them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what the hell? The second DLC is the third to last mission you're supposed to do is the Citadel. Did you ever do this one?
No, I haven't done this one.
It is the best add-on I've ever played in a game. It is your farewell to everyone. So pretty much it's your shore leave, you dock, they're fixing the ship, you get your own apartment, and you end up going like I'm not going to spoil what happens because someone's out to kill you.
Okay.
When you find out who's out to kill you, it's literally a great twist. Because I didn't see it coming, and the fact that it's been out for almost 10 years and I still didn't ever hear about this, great job to people. Fantastic. But your whole squad's with you. Your whole entire squad is with you for this mission. And it makes it big because it's like you've never had that before, where everyone's running with you and you're fighting. And
people,
and Rex is back too, because Rex isn't a main character in the second and third one if you kept him alive. So he joins your squad again. It was fun. And then whoever you romance, which like Liara is mine, she's a major part of your squad, and again builds that relationship. And then once it's over, you go back to the apartment and you can invite your friends up. You can go walk the strip and do like gambling and hang out with everyone. It's very much a goodbye to everyone that you've kept alive. So if you kept everyone alive up to that point, they're all at the party. If you didn't, I've seen like videos on YouTube where like everyone's dead and there's like 2 people there, and it's super depressing. But if you've kept everyone alive, you get these awesome conversations. You find out like if you're romancing Liara, like she'll be like, if you want to escape for a little bit, we can. And then you can choose if you want a mellow party or like a super drunk out party, which I chose the super drunk out, and Tali's going crazy. Grunt, the Krogan, is in the shower crying. It's so fun, dude. But that DLC, when you go back to the ship, it adds so much. And your characters, the squad mates, dude, I walked in on Garrus and Liara kissing. I'm like, what? They're together? And then I found out Ashley and James had a thing. And it just opens up all these doors. And Javik, the Prothean you meet in 3, he's a bigger part in it. It is fascinating. But yeah, Liara, man, and from what I've read is apparently they do have a canon version of it, and I did the canon way. You're supposed to romance Liara, choose the destroy ending, all that sorts of things, and that's where like this next one's supposed to take place. And I'm like, okay. I really like this. Because like if you get the best ending, there's that little tease at the end of Shepard breathing. Like that one little and I'm like, he's alive. Like you don't show him fucking breathing and he's not alive. So Mass Effect, that's what I've been playing. And then I'm going to start Ratchet and Clank today. That's my goal, because I bought Rift Apart and I haven't tried it yet. So that's going to be my thing today.
You're playing the Rift Apart Ratchet and Clank, or the
Rift Apart, the new one that just came out.
Okay. Yeah, I just started Star Wars Fallen Orders, or the.
That's great. Have you played it before?
I had not played it up till now. So I'm on my 3rd planet. I just got to Kashyyyk. Okay,
yeah, that's a great game. It's hard. That game's hard.
Yeah, it's fun though, but it's getting there. I'm like, that's probably I'm getting used to combat styles, definitely. But I think it'll be on the Mass Effect series. I know next week my wife told me on Father's Day, she's like, you don't know this, but plan out where you want to go, all the video game stores and pawn shops or whatever, and all we're going to do on Father's Day is just go shopping. Go bounce around all these different stores you want to go to, and basically just get whatever you want. It's like, hell yeah, I might be picking up that Mass Effect.
Dude, you should, especially like that. Like I always tell, like I've talked to one of my friends into it. I'm like, just get past the first game, and if you want, I'll send you the site that I looked at. Like, because you can still make your choices to who you want to romance, what this choice is, but the mission priority is like my favorite thing. Like that, it helped me do. So
yeah, do that. I like the can. I would love to do that. You got me hyped for that ending thing. So that ending, the Citadel.
The Citadel, best DLC I've ever done. Like, because the best part about Mass Effect is the characters and interacting with them. So like that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, definitely. I remember have some fond memories of that. I actually played the second game first. I never actually played the first one, so I went back. So I heard so many issues with the first game, so I went back and replayed it and went back.
No, it's not bad. It's just very like this game. They fixed everything, like the Mako, all that shit. It's still clunky, but like it's playable in my opinion.
Yeah, the Mako. They spent too much time on that the Mako's little.
Yeah, that's why I was glad 3. There's like nothing to that.
Yeah, but anyway, couple more questions I wanted to touch on. one of the last collabs we ever did that sadly never came out because of stuff that happened for
the Deadpool interview, right?
The Deadpool interview.
Yeah.
So when Deadpool 2 was coming out, I reviewed Deadpool and I interviewed you as Deadpool leading up to that movie.
Yeah.
What made you start dressing up as Deadpool?
People just told me I act like him. So
you're a merc with a mouth.
So it's funny. The first film comes out, and I made it a big event, man. I invited all my friends, and we all went and saw it, And one of my friends shows up. She goes, Did you make this movie?" I'm like, "Are you fucking stupid?" But no, I always said like. I act like my friend was like, "You literally act like him. Like you're a mix of Spider-Man and Deadpool." So I have a Spider-Man and a Deadpool outfit. Like those are my favorite. Those are two of my favorite superheroes. I would love a Batman one, but I don't. If I did a Batman, it would have to be a fucking expensive ass one and badass. And I'm not bulked up for Batman. So, but yeah, it was just fun, and I liked having it, and I had like ideas, like, I did a short film called Deadpool's Downfall, and that was like kind of the biggest reason I did buy the outfit, so we could do with that short film.
Yeah.
And that was probably the most expensive short film we did because of that costume alone. And like, yeah, and like I remember we have a tracking shot of like me riding a tricycle on the street, like on an actual street of cars driving. Dude, we had my friend's minivan opened up in the back, and he's just holding the cameras. We drive around, and I'm like, I'm surprised we didn't get pulled over because we literally rode it from my house to the location we were going. So, like, I literally rode it like 4 miles, fully dressed up in the fucking suit.
That's got to be hot, too. Arizona?
Oh, yeah, dude. It was summertime, too. I was dying. Like, I would have to take that mask off so much because I would be dying from the heat. So it was fun though. Like I have so many ideas for short films. It's more of a I'm gonna be filming a music video for my friend because he's a really good musician, like really good rapper. And so we just planned out his music video, so we're gonna do that. But I want to get back into more of that.
What's the process like for you when you like? Are you? Cause I asked Ryan of the Suit Up Geeks podcast. He was the last one we talked about. His short film actually got put into a film festival.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, his Juliet film. So I asked him this question too. I'll ask you this: what's your process like when you start? Like, are you a person like I have to write something out? I have a bunch of ideas. I need to write out a full script, or are you gonna like you just like let's go on the fly and see what kind of works?
So every short we filmed, there was a script. Did we follow the script? Fuck no.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we follow the story, but the dialogue would be very different almost every single time. Because there was one where we tried to make everyone remember it, and it just wasn't working. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed like we're going for too horror-y, where it's more of a comedy. So I was like, let's just do a horror comedy. So literally in the middle of shooting, we literally restart because we had one night to shoot this short film. Like 6 hours, 3 hours in, I noticed, we got to redo the whole fucking thing. So we redid the whole fucking thing and changed it to more of a comedy. And I did do a straight up horror film. And that was the one I think we did follow almost every single thing. And that is probably my favorite one we've done. We did write a feature film though. And that's the one that it's like, I think we averaged to be at an hour and 45 minutes. Maybe a little bit. I think we cut some time out, but it's very much inspired by Kevin Smith. It's fucking weird. I mean, really weird. We said, let's make the weirdest thing possible. Wrote it in one day. And it's pretty much Home Alone, but imagine from the robbers' perspectives. And imagine that they rob a house, but the house goes under lockdown, can't leave the house, and it turns out the people who own that house are cannibals.
Oh my God.
So, and like, they're weird. They're weird people. So yeah, our plan is to still make the damn thing. But like, it's weird. There's a role-playing sex scene that's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. There's a giant man baby that wears a diaper. Yeah, it's fucking weird, dude. And we set out and said we're going to make the weirdest thing ever made.
I thought Kevin Smith turning a person into a walrus was bad.
No, it's worse, dude, it's worse than that. Like,
it could be worse than that, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of it is just these people trying to survive the night and hide from them, but like seeing the things they do was the fucked up aspect of it all.
Yeah, that's crazy. That sounds
so
entertaining as hell, though.
Yeah, and it is, man. Like it was fun writing it. I still have the script somewhere, but it's definitely the film that, like, if I was to do a feature first, that would definitely be it, because it's just weird. Yeah. And the hardest thing is the kid that was supposed to play the baby. I'm not like really friends with anymore. Not because we fall out or anything. Just haven't talked to him in a while. But I was like gonna pay him like $200 for this. I was like, we're gonna put like Nutella in the diaper, because there's a part where he's supposed to get spanked. So like I wanted, yeah. So I'll leave it there. But like, yeah, it was fun, man. So, but yeah, definitely. I mean, if we would have gone into filming it, probably would have been nice. But I have so many ideas. Like I have book ideas, man. I'm currently writing one, but I don't know when it'll come out. It's like the top 200 films that made me love movies, or like 200 movies that, awesome. Something like that. So I think I'm like, and it's like short, you know, like a paragraph for each film, but or more. But and that's all I wanted it to be. I think I'm like 30 pages in. But because I keep going back, like every year it passes and I revise the films that I'm picking. You know what I mean? So then I'm like, all right, well, let's take this movie out. Let's put that. Because originally I was going to put shitty movies in there too. But then I'm like, nah, we're not going to do that. I'd rather just do good films. Just do like the back page. Like if I was going to be the guilty pleasure side of things, here's 10 guilty pleasures that also made me love it at the very end of the book or something like that. Yeah, that possibility, but yeah, just keep sticking to good movies. I think that's the good way to go. Definitely. Well, if that ever comes out, when it comes out, I'll speak it into existence. When it comes out, I'll make sure I'll get myself a copy. Yeah, I'll put it in a film festival. I saw a terrible film at Sundance this year, and I'm like, if that film can make it into Sundance, I can with that shitty thing. There we go. All right, man. We're almost to an hour. I don't like to try to get these any more over an hour. Impossible, but I really appreciate you talking movies with talking about your film journey. Yeah. Going all through. Thank you. Absolutely. Definitely. We've talked off camera about this, but because I started the Spielberg and Edgar Wright journeys, I'll make sure to send you a Scott Pilgrim and a Catch Me If You Can request in a couple months, so we can get those scheduled as well. So sweet, that works for me, man. Thank you again for having me. I had a lot of fun doing this, and if you ever want to have me back on for part 2, I'm down. Heck, I think there's a lot more we can go into, but don't like to get it too long, but for sure. No, I get that. Real quick, while you're here, where can we again one last time find you on YouTube and social media? Just Zach Pope, man. Just type that in anywhere. You'll find me pop up somewhere, and I'm just always going to be talking movies, TV, and video games on a daily basis. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you again, man, for having me. It was a blast catching up, and I had fun doing this. Absolutely. He talks movies too much. Wait, I think that's somebody else. John. That's John's. That's somebody else's catchphrase, I think. Mine stay classy. Mine stay classy. You're all stay classy. Yeah, that's what I want to say. So yeah, which is funny. I want everyone to know that I started that not knowing that it was from Anchorman, because when I started saying that, I didn't know it was fucking Anchorman. Then I saw Anchorman, and I'm like, oh, so that's where that comes from. Because I used to have a teacher that would always say that. There we go. I never got that. So, well, perfect. Now I got my opening up the podcast. Yeah. So there you go, everybody. Until next time, my name is Adam. You can find us on Almost Sideways. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe not on this video, but also on Zach Pope's channel as well. So, again, we'll see you later. See you guys. Bye.